Hello, A's faithful. Welcome to the Habit Hunter A's podcast and the House Always Wins podcast network. Do A's Media and me a huge favor and make a habit of clicking like and subscribe. It keeps a massive amount of A's content in the algorithm. I'm Tim Burns. You can call me Hobbs. I'm a sports writer covering the athletics for the awesome guys at Mid-Valley Sports out of Los Angeles, where I cover the amazing A's as well as the entire NFL desk. You can also find me at Sacktown A's Fans for Life on X and this Habit Hunter podcast. Habit Hunter, it's a show that reviews the week's games, analyzing trends, tendencies, good and bad. If you're an A's baseball guy like me, you know when someone's locked in and you know when they can't hit a slider to save their life. We will cover what players are trending up or down and analyze moves both management and ownership make. As A's fans, we've been shell-shocked by ownership in the last few years, and it's bred a little bit of distrust. We look at ownership through a bit of a narrow lens, and it's justified, let's face it. Some fans are put off, but the stadium is rising. Ownership has spent some serious cash on our core players. And the House Always Wins podcast network is here to rebuild this fan base, and I hope you'll check out the entire list of amazing shows. With that, let's get started. Entering the week, we were 2-6. We were averaging a little under 4 runs a game, but we were giving up nearly 7 at 6.8. Batting wasn't too bad at 257. We were hitting the long ball, not too bad, 7 home runs. We had 24 extra base hits going into the week. This week, we did good. With today winning twice, we went 5-4. We averaged over 7 runs a game and giving up just a little bit over 5, which means we're trending in the right direction for both. We reduced our runs per game given up by 1.5 runs, which is fantastic. And we added 4 runs to our game on offense. It's awesome. Obviously, only seeing 2 games live makes analysis difficult in that you're seeing the players in real time versus kind of watching it on StatCast. StatCast does help in other ways, though, by showing location, pitch velocity, that kind of thing. So the trends that we're looking for do show up either way. You saw the A's come back against the world champion Dodgers today and also come back and beat the Angels. So stick around for the recap at the end of the show. Today was pretty badass, guys. All right, let's dive into the week. This week started with a 7-2 win over the Padres. Tyler Soderstrom. People were wondering a little bit about his power. Were we going to see more? And he did power up. He started off the week with a double and a home run. Nick Kurtz. People were also kind of pointing out, hey, the average is a little lower than we were expecting. But he had a single and 2 walks. The 2 walks and the single obviously is saying that he's seeing the ball just fine. So I am not worried about him at all. Leo DeVries. He had 2 singles to start the week and was batting over 300 when he started the week. He's obviously somebody we're going to discuss a little bit later. The opening game of the week, starter Mason Barnett, he took the win. He gave up no runs, but a deeper look, and I kind of saw a different game from him. It's kind of the first trend here. He had 4 full counts, including back-to-back walks to start the second inning. His walks to begin innings is something we're going to bring up later, and you'll understand why I feel the way I do. Barnett seemed to have a little bit of control issues, not finding the strike zone. Now, obviously, looking at it from the perspective of StatCast, you're only seeing the edges, but he seemed like he was having problems finding the zone. The relievers, Brady Basso, he went 1 1/3, and Nick Suero went 2 for solid relief. And they're both angling towards longer middle relief spots. Kotze spent last year, if you remember, stretching his relievers into longer appearances. He was giving people 2 1/3, here and there, different guys trying to stretch and create kind of a reliever by committee approach. We can't complain with his approach. The A's relievers were, I do believe, second in baseball after the All-Star break last year. So whatever he had come up with seemed to be working. Moving on in a game totally off my radar, I missed it completely. A's beat Brazil 14-4. Oh, by the way, Darryl Hernandez, he hit a walk-off home run over the weekend. That guy's repping Puerto Rico, but you know what? He's repping the A's too. And man, just looking at the joy on that guy's face, I just can't wait till he gets back, man. Got to root for that guy. Anyway, back to the WBC. Obviously, a little bit lesser talent, some JUCO ball, D1s, a few pros, you know, scattered in there. But to me, the ABs and the pitch counts are the same. So, you know, we can dive right into those. Our offense just blew up. 7 of the first 8 batters scored, and we batted around in the first inning. 3 consecutive walks followed by back-to-back homers from McNeil and Wins, and it puts this game out of reach early. And early scoring, obviously, is something that was prevalent in this game, and we're going to touch on that a little bit later. On the pitching side, the new addition, Mark Leiter, he had an 11-pitch inning in relief. That's really nice to see. I like to see 3 pitches and done. You know, sometimes that's a bit of an ask, but, you know, in my book, 9 pitches and out, nice. Mark Kelly closed the game with 2 Ks in the 7th. They only went 7 innings. It doesn't seem like Kotze has made a decision on a closer at this point. You know, he might just do closer by committee as well. You know, so Mark Kelly's trying to throw his hand in the, you know, trying to throw his name into the pot. Next game, 3-1. We lost to Arizona. This was Jeffrey Springs. His start. He had base runners his entire appearance, but he did counter that with 4 Ks, so he minimized his you know, the damage that was done. Hogan Harris, this guy, this is who I'm thinking is probably going to be the closer. We'll explain that more a little later, but he had 3 strikeouts in an inning of relief, and reliever Nick Anderson, he had a 8-pitch ninth. He's trying to say he's closer, not Hogan. Other than that, on offense, Nick Kurtz had a double. Other than that, it's stagnated. One thing I am noticing is Kurtz has been mostly leadoff in spring training. And I'm going to be honest with you. I hate it. I hate that idea. The guy, you're guaranteeing his first at-bat doesn't have RBI potential. I want every at-bat to have RBI potential for that guy. The dude hit like 247 at leadoff last year and 100 points higher everywhere else. So while I can appreciate it, I would prefer that he bat somewhere else. Moving on, Thursday, that was the game of the week. I loved it. Obviously, the Dodger game is a close second, but 16-11 win over the Angels. Starter, Luis Morales, he had a lot of foot traffic, but with few pitches, which is telling me the batters are seeing his stuff pretty clearly. He gave up 4 hits and 3 walks, kind of counterbalancing the 4 Ks. He was struggling. To find the zone. This brings up Kotze because of the struggles he was having at the end. I felt like, come on, man, mound visit. Go out there and visit him. Please, go out there and visit him. Nah. Kotze. He has occasionally what I call Kotze leisure day. It's where he'll leave a pitcher in when it's obvious they're struggling, or he'll ride an arm too long and they nosedive. Regardless of if there's available bullpen arms, he leaves them there. An example, last season, Tyler Ferguson, he was riding about a half-run ERA in early May. And Kotze put him in 3 consecutive games. He had an appearance. 3 consecutive days, 3 consecutive games. And he did. He ran him out a 4th day in a row. And, of course, Ferguson tanked. Blown save, loss. Within 7 days, he was sporting an ERA well north of 4. I think it was 4.51. And he never recovered. I remember specifically the announcer saying something like it had been decades since it had happened before where a reliever came in 4 days in a row. So, you know, that got me thinking, at the beginning. At the beginning of this game. It also happened in this game to reliever Jeff Hartlieb. He went ground out, single, walk, no mound visit. He was just left in. What happens? Gives up a double. He went on to give up 5 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. Now he sports a fun 27 ERA. He's never going to recover from that. It's kind of something that Kotsay does to a lot of his relievers. Many of the A's relievers from last year can relate. But on the positive side, the offense came to play. Brent Rooker, and backup catcher Austin Wynns, both of them had a double, and both of them had their second home run of the week. Leading 5 guys. 5 guys hit the long ball. Tyler Soderstrom had a grand slam. We hit 2 of those this week. And we'll talk about that later, too. Youngsters, Clark Elliott, Junior Perez, they collected home runs. Obviously, we're not going to see those guys, past spring training. They're going to be gone. But it is nice to see that we have stuff in the down the pipe, coming. The A's showed patience at the plate, which is something I have to stress. They are night and day and night and day and night and day. They will be the most aggressive, and they'll have so many one-pitch outs, and we'll talk about that. But this particular game, they took some pitches, and they had a season-high 12 walks, and most of those walks turned into runs, and that's amazing. Like I was saying, they did promptly return to bad form. The next game, they lost to the Rockies, 11-6. There was a lot of regression in this game period. JT Ginn, he reverted. He had a great outing in his last start. I was thinking, he plays like that. He might sneak a 5, be the 5th starter. But he reverted back to the guy who gives up the long ball. He allowed 2 home runs among the 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks. He did have 3 Ks. But, I saw what we saw a lot of last year, where he gave up I think he gave up 17 home runs in 90-ish innings, where other people that were in the 17 home runs given up range were at about 130 innings, so a lot more innings for the same amount of damage done, yeah. The A's hitters, they reverted back as well to being impatient at the plate. 8 first pitch outs and 4 second pitch outs. They had 2 5-pitch innings. 5-pitch innings. That's barely over the minimum. That's one and done, and a couple and done. They also had an 8-pitch inning on offense, which means as a team, they were just swinging out their ass. Colby Thomas, he had a good game. It was nice to see him. That guy's got some power, serious power. Single, double, 3 RBIs. Cade Marlowe had a single and a home run, which was nice to see. We're seeing home runs from everybody, which is fantastic. Obviously, going into the weekend, we kind of broke even. We won 2 today, and we lost 2 yesterday. So let's face it, Saturday sucked. The A's took 2 losses. First one to the Cubs, 4-3. This was Mason Barnett's second start of the week. And here's where I was going to try to make this make sense. In the 3 innings that he had today, he had 5 hits, including a home run and 3 walks. Now, in those 3 innings, he opened 2 of those with walks. So over the 2 starts, he's had 3 times he started innings with a walk, with a free pass. That I think that's something that's a pattern at this point. Something that tells me we got to keep an eye on that. It tells me that he's coming out tight, uncomfortable, maybe overthinking it. It's hard to tell when you're looking at StatCast versus live. But 5 of his 5 of his first 6 batters in the second reached base, starting with another walk, of course. So that's something we got to keep an eye on. Hogan Harris, we discussed him earlier. He had another 3 Ks. He pitched an 8th and a 9th, so he finished the week with 6 Ks and 3 relief innings. He did give up a home run, but if you looked at each of the at bats, and unfortunately this was Statcast, just the positioning of the pitches, he was right on the corner on his misses, and it was very, very controlled at bats. And so while he did give up a home run, I think he's the front runner for the closer position. He has to be. He had a great spring last year, and he is showing that same fire that he did last year. Fighting Max Muncy for the third base job. Andy Ibanez. He had a single, a double, and a walk. That guy's on fire. And if Max Muncy doesn't pick up the pace at the plate, Andy Ibanez is going to pass him up. That's my personal opinion. While catcher Brian Servan, he did hit a 3-run homer in the same game. I said I would bring up Leo DeVries. He had a single, just a single, but in the ninth, with 2 outs, he stole second and he stole third. And that got me jacked up thinking about Ricky back in the day. Stealing second and third is just, I mean, can you imagine that in the sphere of, we don't have a whole lot of people that run, you know. We have Butler runs. A couple other people put it in here and there, but in essence, we would be jacked up to have Leo DeVries hitting in the 7-8 and having base runners for the top of the batting order. That would be awesome. The Angels return the favor with a 3-0 win over the Athletics. We played with a normal top of the order. These are our normal guys. Kurtz, Soderstrom. You would have expected more, but there was literally nothing to talk about. I think there was 6 hits. Starter, Gage Jump. That I did like. Gage Jump went 3 2/3. He only allowed a hit, had a couple of walks, but so far he's got a 2.70 ERA early in the season. It's very impressive, very impressive. And with the iffiness of who's going to make the squad, who's not going to make the squad, who's starting, who's not going to be a starter, somebody like Gage Jump could be, throw middle relief, could pop a start here and there. He's somebody we got to keep an eye on. Joe Kunal, he had 4 Ks in a scoreless 8th and 9th. So he went scoreless in 3 innings on the week. And he's somebody I haven't really seen a lot of. So it's going to be interesting to eyeball him up in the future. All right, here's the fun part. After being swept Saturday, the A's returned the favor, defeating the World Series champions, the Dodgers 11-7 and the Angels 7-4. After spotting the defending champions 7 runs, the A's hit 4 consecutive singles and a double in 5 8th-inning at-bats to break a 7-7 tie. Andy Ibanez, I told you about him, he's making his case for starting third baseman. He went 4 for 5 with 2 doubles, and he had a couple of RBIs. He batted 571, going 8 for 14 with 3 doubles and 3 runs. Leo DeVries, he is tearing up spring training. He hit 2 home runs, one of them a grand slam. That was the second grand slam of the week, and had 6 RBIs to continue to dominate. He's adding dimensions. It's even my people here in the network. They're like, no, he's going to be in, probably AA, if not AAA. But he's going to be hard to ignore. He's showing everything. Abilities to hit, abilities to steal, abilities to power. The guy's batting amazing. And it's going to be a difficult decision for management. Jacob Lopez, he had his first start. He lasted just 2 innings. He gave up 3 runs, 3 extra base hits. I believe it was a home run, a couple of doubles. Not a good start for him. Not a good start. I would say it's a little rocky. Zane Taylor in relief. He shined. He had 2 innings of hitless ball. I believe he gave up a walk to start an inning, but other than that, was pretty clean. Pretty low pitch count, very efficient. Shifting to the comeback versus the Angels, the bottom of the order dominated with Tommy White, continuing to give Kotsay thoughts about who will take a bench spot, or even a starter spot at third. Obviously, he's got a lot of people in front of him, but it's hard to ignore somebody batting 500. It's hard to ignore a guy who today hit 2 home runs. So, we keep an eye on him. He's nice. Henry Bolt. How many years are we going to ignore this guy? We can't. We can't ignore this guy. Henry Bolt was perfect. 4 for 4, single, 2 doubles, and a home run. He is going to be really hard to keep off the roster. Really, it's kind of nice for a change to be packed with possibilities at the same position. It's nice, especially when we're pretty iffy at it at this point. Third base has been a question mark all off season. Yeah, Aaron Savali. His first start went okay. He breezed through 3 innings. He did have a shaky fourth. He had a shaky 3-batter stretch in the fourth. That put a mark on his day, but overall, he had a good outing. What trends are you seeing, and what trends do you want me to watch for? Leave those in the comments. The takeaways I have for this week, obviously, Leo DeVries. He's playing like he wants an early call-up, or better yet, an opening day spot on the roster. 2 stolen bases in the 9th Saturday. Open my eyes. He's a good run. 2-homer game with a grand slam and 6 RBIs today. Shows me he can hit for power. I don't know about you guys. I'm thinking he may just need a spot. What do you think? Put it in the comments. Do you want to see DeVries up early? Do you want him on the roster? Let me know. Another trend. I think pitching needs a bit of an exorcism. It's early. I get it. It's spring training. It's warm. It's all these things. But I did notice a couple things. First, we played 78 innings. 64 of the 78 innings played this week had base runners. That's 82%. That's insane. Come on. 82% of every inning this week had an opponent on the base path. And even scarier, 55% had more than one base runner. It has to get better, guys. Hitting is improved, but most of the damage is done early. Not sure why, but it's usually in the first 3 innings. 32 of 65 runs this week were in those innings. That's almost half our output. It's something to keep an eye on. I mean, are we getting stagnant? Are we having issues, once we get into the relievers? Why is that? These are questions. If you guys have an idea why that happens, let me know. I don't. But that's all I have for you guys this week. Again, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the House Always Wins Network for more amazing content. Peace.